Speaking of the horrendous situations, we've had another night of carnage unfold on the streets of Britain last night. The Prime Minister will be holding another Cobra meeting imminently, actually, tonight. I've got to say, though, one of the things that's kind of really struck me is that many people... Media, of course, whipping themselves into a frenzy about how far-right everything is, Cobra meetings happening, tough talking coming out from Keir Starmer. Let me start, because there's a lot I want to address in tonight's programme, because many people would argue now that this two-tier scenario is not just affecting policing, it's affecting government response, perhaps, it's affecting some of the media coverage of it, and so on and so forth. I'll unpick all of that throughout this programme, worry not. Let me just start, though. I'll start with you, Connor. Your general kind of thoughts on what we're seeing occurring at the moment?
I think if Keir Starmer wanted to prevent further violence, he would not have responded in the way that he has. I don't see how it's responsible for a Prime Minister to declare the need for a standing army of police officers, implying he is going to war with someone, to only come out and give press conferences in the aftermath of the Southport stabbings, not because of the stabbing, because of the ensuing protests and riots, to only unilaterally blame the far right when we have got abundant videos on social media and in mainstream reporting now of Muslim gangs charging police lines in Bolton, in Birmingham, to only say that the far right are responsible for this and therefore everyone else must be made to feel safe, to then allocate £28 million to the defence of mosques. No mosque should be attacked, but of course there is a Muslim gang out there. He is inflaming tensions among both groups, and that is very reckless. And so he should come out tonight, after his Cobra meeting, and deliver a much more balanced address and put to rest these, I think, well-substantiated claims that there is a two-tier approach to policing in this country.
Siôn?
There are not well-substantiated claims. These claims are utterly unsubstantiated. They're being made by...
Which claims? What are we on about?
The claims, well, for instance, the claim that there is Muslim gangs, loads of evidence of Muslim gangs getting up to stuff just as bad as the football hooligans who are laying waste to the country. That's simply not true.
Sorry, should they be carrying bladed weapons and intimidating Sky News anchors?
1 second, let him finish.
That's a lie.
No, I'm afraid you are the one who told the lie, and by telling those lies, you are deliberately inflaming this situation. Right. That's the truth.
What lies do you believe he's telling?
What he just said, that I just said, that's just not true. It's not true that there are Muslim gangs roaming the country doing the same kind of thing.
The BBC reported on it on Sunday.
And that the Prime Minister should show balance. The truth is that there are huge numbers of coordinated football hooligan criminal thugs who are doing serious violence, putting dozens and dozens of brave police officers in hospital, doing huge damage to property. There is no equivalent Muslim thing going on. That is a lie.
OK, so where do we start with this? What we're seeing, I think, around this table actually reflects the conversation, the debates, the disagreements that are happening in broader society, because many people are of Connor's opinion and many people, of course, are also of Siôn's opinion. I want to bring you into this conversation, so I want your thoughts throughout all of this. Now, social media. So when you're saying, in fact, let you answer for yourself. I was just about to start explaining on your behalf. You can do that yourself. You're a big boy. So he's saying you're lying when you're saying that these gangs roaming around and all the rest of it. What do you say back to that?
GBNews this morning, Charlie Peters went and spoke with the woman who runs the pub that a gang of Muslim men flying the Palestine flag, chanting Allahu Akbar, carrying blades, attacked. There was nothing to do with the protests in that pub. There were children there in the aftermath of the karaoke event. And this is all on video.
And that was disgraceful behaviour by that small group of individuals.
So I'm not lying then?
Several of whom, doubtless, will be arrested for the crimes that they committed.
Happen, then?
But it is not comparable. Did they put 50 police officers in hospital? Did they set fire to and destroy the pub? Did they attack and firebomb? No, nothing of the sort.
Hang on, they did assault a man in the pub. They did assault a man in the pub. They did assault a man in the pub.
Nothing of the sort.
You're telling the truth there.
Nothing of the sort and nothing like it. And have you talked about the video on the BBC this evening of local Muslim people going round to that pub to apologise on behalf of local
Muslims? There's a problem there. One of them that actually went round for the apology has been identified by online sleuths as probably one of the perpetrators.
But online sleuths?
Because he's wearing these. It's the exact same build. It's the exact same
clothing. Hang on, everyone, just stop.
Just
hang on, hold your horses. I just want to explain to my viewers at home. If you're watching the telly, you are now seeing what Siôn basically said didn't happen. So you are now seeing a pub in Birmingham, I think it is, and this was last night.
I didn't say it didn't happen.
I said it wasn't.
I said it wasn't comparable. I said it wasn't
comparable.
You said it was a lie first time.
Absolutely, that was his whole point.
You said it was a lie.
He said the Prime Minister should show balance. It is a lie to say that anything comparable has been happening.
He shouldn't condemn that.
It is a lie to say.
He shouldn't condemn that.
If you ask the Prime Minister to condemn criminality,
why do you have a problem condemning
he will
this?
clearly condemn all criminality.
Hang on, no.
As I just
He's not condemning all criminality.
There is no
He's not
comparable
all criminality. This is the point. He's only blamed the far right. I don't want people setting fire to hotels in Rochdale. I don't want opportunistic thugs going and looting at a Lush or a Greg's. And I don't want this to happen either.
This is another clip from Birmingham last night where the mobs, the Muslim mobs of men, decided that a car had a white man in it and they smashed this car. Many would say they attempted to get the driver out of this car, apparently because of the skin colour.
Many would say, I mean, did they or not?
On the flip side, well, Siôn, you know, many people have seen this footage. I'm showing the footage for themselves, so you at home can be the judge. This is Hull, my hometown. I'm ashamed to admit that. This is a gang of, protesters here that the media would describe as far right. They too are attacking a car because they said it had foreign-looking men in the car. This is completely disgusting. So I've just shown you two sides. Completely unacceptable. You've got the so-called, which I wouldn't call these people that, but you've got the so-called protesters that people regard to as far right. You've seen someone attacking that car there because they think there's foreign people driving. Disgusting racist behaviour, I can tell you that. And then you've seen the other side there in Birmingham where you've got Muslim groups attacking a car because they think a white guy is driving, an EDL member, also racist, disgusting behaviour, and I would argue quite comparable, actually.
Not comparable at all, because not comparable in scale. Have dozens and dozens and dozens of policemen been put in hospital by those Muslims in Birmingham? No.
So let me tell you now what many people, Siôn, will be shouting at their screens. So your concern here seems to be, your measure of badness almost seems to be how many police officers have been injured. Many of my viewers, Siôn, will be shouting at their screens saying, no, Michelle, there's not been masses of police officers injured in Birmingham for one simple reason. Where were the police? It was like spot the police officer. Where were they? When you had gangs of these people, many of them armed, we saw that for ourselves, many of them doing all kinds of things in their car, and many of them, as I've just shown you, trying to get at somebody in their car because they thought he was an EDL member. The police weren't harmed because the police weren't there.
The police were there.
They weren't.
Where?
No, they weren't. No, they weren't. Literally, one of the heads of Birmingham Police came out this morning and said it was nothing more than a scuffle you'd see on a Saturday night. They were not there. This is what I'm saying. It is comparable because both actions are immoral. And I'll tell you what, mate, I think they should crack down on this before they reach the same scale of police officer injuries. I don't think they should wait till then. And Keir Starmer, by not calling it out, is letting it escalate.
Graham Whettone, the police officer who spent 30 years on the front line of public order policing and wrote the book on public order policing, absolutely clearly, unequivocally, as all senior police officers have done, have said, obviously, policing, anybody who knows anything about policing will tell you, is tiered. You can't police everything at full scale, everywhere, all the time. You tier policing according to the threat and the requirement. That event, those blokes standing on the middle of a roundabout was appropriately policed by the
standing in
police.
the middle of a roundabout, they literally we just played the footage of them assaulting a car and assaulting a pub. Why are you not admitting this has happened?
Why are you not distinguishing that from the level of disorder, violence and criminality?
I already said they should go to prison.
The level of disorder, violence and criminality that has gone on all over this country
I already said
for a week. The bottom line is, which side are you on? And you are on the side of the criminal football hooligans. That is which side you're on, because you're trying to make the argument that a few Muslims standing in the middle of a roundabout amounts to the same thing, and it doesn't.
They weren't standing in the middle of a roundabout, and you know it. They had bladed weapons, they intimidated a Sky News reporter, they were speeding, they attacked a car, and they attacked people inside a pub, and I have no problem condemning people that are arsonists, that are thieves,
I have no problem
and you
condemning.
I have no problem. You just denied it existed until you played video footage.
No.
You said I was a liar when you said there were no two tiers of policing.
That's not
true.
You
just cited a police officer saying there were multiple tiers.
Not true at all.
That, please.
I have condemned any criminality that happened, and I have said that I have no doubt that the police, who will have been well aware what was happening, will take action and there will be arrests.
That is my concern. I have a doubt.
That's because
they were not present.
That's because you're not on the side of the police. You're not on the side of Britain. You're not on the side of our country. You're not on the side of our law. You're not on the side of our institutions. You're only on the side of the football hooligans who are trying to destroy all that. That's why.
I am on the side of the law being applied equally, and my concern is, as it was not in Hare Hills, Leeds, as it was not in the recent Manchester Airport event, as it was not clearly in the footage you saw in Birmingham.
How do you know how the law was or wasn't applied in the recent Manchester Airport event?
Because they've not been charged yet.
What does that mean, that the law hasn't...
Yes, because we've also on the CCTV where they're hitting police officers unprovoked.
Well, we'll talk to a lawyer
We're going to do that later, but this is another in a pattern of events. We cannot have it where the law is afraid of applying the law to certain protected
The law is not
groups.
afraid. The law is not afraid.
It clearly is.
The law is not afraid. The police are not afraid. The Prime Minister is not afraid.
Let me ask you a question.
You have an agenda.
He has an agenda. Right, OK, well, we're going to come back. Apparently, he's saying he's got an agenda, so we'll ask him about that in a minute after the break. Let me just be clear. Are you telling me and the viewers that you don't think there's anything two-tier going on in the society, whether it's policing, whether it's media reporting or government response? It's all level playing field. It's all nothing to see here.
Do you not think that there are a lot... That's
not what I think. I'm asking you what you think. I know what I think.
What colour are most people in prison?
What's that got to do with my question to you?
Well, I'll tell you the answer. The answer is that they're not white. So how does that fit with your two-tier policing?
But I'm asking you, in current times, with the conversation that we're having now, which is about the state of the rioting, the protesting and the criminality and all of that, do you think there is a two-tier response to the current goings-on the streets or not?
I don't think the current goings-on have got two tiers. The current goings-on are about far-right football hooligan criminals trying to attack our democracy, and they are being policed by hard-working, brave police people who should have the support that they're not getting.
Right, well, as I've said, you're hearing two very different opinions here, and this is what I want to happen. I want different sides of these arguments to come together and respectfully debate, because Siôn saying, whose side are you on? And actually, if you don't mind me being so bold, I think this is part of the problem, actually, that people are being pushed to pick a side. Whose side do you support? Actually, I think we should all be on the very same side, which is the same side of peace and restoring law and order and calmness and civility to the society in which we live. So there should just be one side, if you ask me.